Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the 2023 horror film, The Wake Up, a chilling story about a protest gone horribly wrong. It's a tense ride that shows how a group of idealists can get trapped in a nightmare they never saw coming. So, settle in, and let's get into the recap. The movie begins by introducing us to 6 young friends, who are also a passionate group of environmental activists. Their names are Grace, Yasmin, Emily, Tyler, Ethan, and Kareem. They've formed a protest group called Wake Up, with the mission of exposing large corporations that they believe are harming the planet. Their newest target is a giant furniture chain called Urban Home. The group is convinced that this company is secretly using wood sourced from protected rainforests, and they've planned a daring mission to get the public's attention. Their plan is to hide inside the store until it closes, and then create a scene that will make the news. We see them arriving at the massive Urban Home store, just as it's about to close for the night. This is the perfect time for their plan, as the last few shoppers are leaving and the employees are tired and ready to go home. The group splits into pairs and enters the store, blending in with the last customers. An announcement plays over the speakers, counting down the final minutes until closing, which is their signal to disappear. Their plan goes into motion immediately. Grace, the clear leader, and Tyler, the tech expert, head to the bedroom section. When no one is looking, they slide under a large king-sized bed, using the long blanket to hide them from view. They lie still on the cold floor, listening to the store slowly shut down around them. At the same time, Yasmin and Emily walk through the main showroom. After making sure the coast is clear, they slip behind a huge cardboard advertising sign, hiding themselves in the shadows. The final pair, Ethan and Kareem, have the riskiest job, hiding in the employee-only storage room. They sneak into the massive warehouse, filled with towering shelves of boxed furniture. Ethan, being the most athletic, climbs up a tall metal shelf and hides at the very top. Kareem finds a large open box filled with stuffed animals for the children's section and buries himself among the toys. With everyone in position, all they have to do is wait. The film then cuts to a completely different scene, introducing us to a man named Kevin. We find him in his garage, intensely focused on a cruel, handmade mousetrap on his workbench. He watches with a look of satisfaction as a small mouse is caught and killed by his device. This single scene tells us that Kevin has a fascination with hunting and a capacity for cruelty. Just as he is admiring his work, his phone rings. It's his brother, Jack, telling him he needs to get to the furniture store where they both work. When Kevin arrives at Urban Home, he is immediately confronted by the angry store manager. We learn that Kevin had set some of his dangerous, handmade traps around the store earlier, creating a huge safety risk. The manager is furious and wants to fire him on the spot. Kevin's brother, Jack, who is calm and responsible, steps in to save his brother's job. He talks to the manager privately and manages to cut a deal. Kevin won't be fired, but on one condition. He has to work the overnight security shift with Jack for the next 4 nights to prove he can be trusted. Kevin is furious about this. He complains that he has to cancel a long-awaited hunting trip, for which he had a special ticket he waited 5 months for. But Jack makes it clear that the only other option is for him to be fired. Reluctantly, and with a lot of anger, Kevin agrees to work the night shift. Back inside the now dark and silent furniture store, the activists emerge from their hiding spots. As planned, they put on white masks to hide their identities. They sneak up on a lone janitor, and Grace drapes a cloth with the words "Wake Up" on it over a chair in front of him while Tyler snaps a photo. The flash startles the janitor, and the 2 activists disappear back into the darkness. From his perch in the storage room, Ethan sees the last employee leave and sends a text to the group. Coast is clear. Let's wake them up. The mission begins. Grace, Tyler, Yasmin, and Emily take out cans of spray paint and begin covering the store's walls and floors with messages like "Stolen wood," "Stolen futures." Meanwhile, Ethan and Kareem head to the public bathrooms. Ethan uses animal blood he brought to smear words like "murderer" on the clean walls. He also flushes pieces of raw meat down the toilet as a symbol of corporate waste. Kareem films all of this on his phone, creating the evidence they plan to share with the world. While this is happening, Jack and Kevin are in the store's small security room. Jack is trying to relax with a beer, but Kevin is still angry. He ignores his brother's attempts to talk, and instead focuses on building a small, powerful crossbow from materials he found. After their acts of protest, the activist group meets up in the employee canteen. They are thrilled with their success and celebrate by having a messy food fight, feeling a sense of victory. After they calm down, Ethan pulls out several realistic-looking air guns that shoot plastic pellets. He suggests they use the massive empty store for a game. The others, caught up in the excitement, agree. They split into two teams and begin running through the dark showroom, hiding behind furniture and shooting at each other in a mock gunfight. In the security room, Kevin is watching the CCTV monitors. He suddenly sees movement on one of the screens. He leans in and sees the young people running around with their air guns. In his mind, they aren't just kids playing a game. They are intruders who have invaded his territory. He immediately reaches for the phone to call for backup, but Jack stops him. Jack reasons that if they report it, they could both be fired for letting the kids get in and for not noticing them earlier. He convinces Kevin that they should handle it themselves by simply scaring the kids out of the store. So Jack and Kevin head out into the store with their flashlights. As they are searching, Emily spots their flashlight beams and sends a warning text to her friends. However, Kareem, who is coming out of the bathroom, doesn't see the message. Thinking he sees one of his friends from the other team, he playfully shoots his air gun at the dark figure. That figure is Jack. Annoyed, Jack grabs Kareem and Kevin comes running over. They assume Kareem is a thief. Kareem panics and confesses everything, that they are activists, and are responsible for the mess in the store. When Kevin hears that these kids are the reason he had to cancel his hunting trip and might lose his job, he snaps. He drags Kareem to the bathroom and viciously forces him to eat the raw meat from the toilet. Just then, Emily emerges from her hiding spot, recording the entire incident on her phone. Jack, seeing the camera, panics and tries to grab the phone from her. Emily calls him an alcoholic, which makes Jack angry. They struggle, and in the chaos, Jack is accidentally pushed backward. He falls and hits his head hard on the corner of a wooden table, knocking him unconscious. Kevin sees his brother lying motionless on the floor, bleeding. He believes Emily has killed him. In a blind rage, he attacks Emily and kills her. Afterward, he calmly wraps her body in industrial plastic wrap. A few moments later, he sees a notification on Emily's phone. He picks it up and sees a group chat where the activists had shared a meme making fun of him. This personal insult pushes him over the edge. He kicks Emily's dead body in fury. The other activists are still unaware of what has just happened. Kareem, however, witnessed the murder and is hiding in a bathroom stall, paralyzed with fear. He then sees a message from Emily's phone in the group chat, telling everyone to meet up. He knows it's a trap set by Kevin. Eventually, the others go looking for their friends and discover Emily's body. They are horrified. Kareem tries to call the police, but Kevin has already anticipated this and has cut the store's phone lines. The call doesn't go through. At that moment, the activists realize they are trapped. Kevin, now fully in hunter mode, begins to prepare for what's next. He gathers materials from around the store and crafts a long, sharp metal spear. He finds Kareem first. After a short chase, Kevin throws the spear, hitting Kareem in the leg and injuring him. Instead of killing him, Kevin takes Kareem captive. Knowing he can't hunt the rest of them down in the huge store, Kevin decides to set traps. He rigs tripwires and falling objects throughout the showroom, turning the entire store into his hunting ground. He then forces the injured Kareem to cry out for help, using him as bait. Ethan, full of guilt and rage, wants to save his friend. Tyler warns him that it's obviously a trap and that they should hide and wait. But Ethan refuses to abandon his friend and goes anyway. As Ethan moves to save Kareem, he sees a figure in a security uniform and attacks, thinking it's Kevin. But it's actually Jack, who has just regained consciousness and is confused and dizzy. As they fight, Tyler panics and runs, trying to save himself. But he runs directly into the path of the real killer, Kevin. Kevin shoots Tyler with his small weapon and then kills him. While Jack and Ethan are fighting, Yasmin intervenes, knocking Jack unconscious again. At the same time, Grace manages to free Kareem. But as they try to escape, Kevin sees them. Jack, now somewhat aware of what his brother has become, tries to stop him, pleading with him to leave the kids alone. In his rage, Kevin pushes his brother away, accidentally stabbing and killing him with the weapon in his hand. For a moment, Kevin is stunned by what he's done, and he cries over his brother's body. This distraction gives Grace and Kareem a chance to run. But Grace steps into one of Kevin's traps and her foot is snared. Unable to free her and seeing Kevin recovering, Kareem makes the difficult choice to leave her behind and run. Kareem regroups with Ethan and Yasmin, and the three of them make a desperate attempt to break the reinforced glass of the front doors with a fire extinguisher. But it's no use. They are trapped. Giving up, they hide. But then Kevin's voice comes over the store's intercom. He tells them he has Grace trapped in the walk-in freezer in the canteen, and that she will freeze to death unless they obey him. Desperate to save her, they agree. He forces them to do a humiliating task, but while they do, Kareem comes up with a plan to sneak away and get the master key from Jack's body. He succeeds and returns with the key. They rush to the freezer to rescue Grace. But as they pull the door open, they trigger another trap. A large container of thick, toxic wood varnish that was balanced on top of the door tips over, covering them in the sticky, burning liquid. As they stumble out with a weak grace, Kevin hits the main power switch, plunging the entire store into total darkness. Using a pair of night vision goggles, Kevin begins his final hunt. He can see them, but they are blind. He kills Kareem first, then Ethan, whom he brutally kills with a hammer. Yasmin and Grace manage to escape to the security room. Yasmin helps Grace into a chair and frantically searches for the real exit key. She finds it and turns to Grace with a smile, only to realize that Grace has died from the cold and the chemicals. Just then, Kevin begins to break down the door. As he bursts into the room, Yasmin, in a final act of defiance, stabs him in the eye with an arrow from his own crossbow. Kevin screams in pain and Yasmin makes a run for the exit. She gets the key in the lock and opens the door, tasting the fresh air of freedom. But it's one last trap. As the door opens, it triggers a heavy set of shelves rigged above the doorway, which comes crashing down and kills her instantly. The movie jumps forward several months. The store has been cleaned up and reopened, with the official story covering up the night's horrific events. Life appears to have returned to normal. In the final chilling scene, a family is shopping. Their young child wanders off and reaches for a toy on a shelf. As he does, he triggers a small, undiscovered trap left behind by Kevin. We hear a loud, sharp snap. The child screams, and the screen cuts to black. The movie ends perfectly here. If you want to watch more interesting movies like this, please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.